Our professional this week is Amogelang Kgaladi. Amogelang is a young man from Pretoria, South Africa. He's a qualified actuary and a fellow of the Actuarial Society of South Africa. Amogelang works for a global leading consulting and management firm, McKinsey & Company, South Africa. He works as a management consultant. Amogelang will be talking us through his journey about how he found out about actuarial sciences and how he qualified to become an actuary. He will also be taking us through the day-to-days of his job. In 2021, Amogelang was named one of Mail and Guardian's Young Achievers. His advice to young people is to work hard, to follow their dreams, and to be consistent. If you like this video, remember to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on our amazing series. Remember to share with your friends, as this could be helpful to them as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Amogelang Kgaladi. I'm from Nina Park, Pretoria North, and I'm 29 years old. I'm an actuary by profession and currently work as a management consultant at McKinsey & Company, and I've been there for the past year and a half. Prior to that, I was the Chief Risk Officer at F&B short term, and I did that for 3 years. So how I heard about being an actuary was from my uncle. He had studied computer sciences at the University of Witwatersrand, and in that he ran into actuaries in some of his modules. So given what he saw from my marks, he recommended that course to me. And one of the reasons why I found this career quite attractive was because I was very good at mathematics and it required a distinction in mathematics. And I was told it pays very well, I think prior to that, it was really me thinking that I'd either be a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer, the traditional roles that as young black professionals we'd want to pursue growing up. But when I found out about actuarial sciences, it really appealed to me because it had a combination of being a strong mathematician while applying those concepts and principles into a business setting. So that really appealed to me as a profession. So I studied at Hoërskool Becker in Magaliesburg, a boarding school, and I'd really say some of the best years of my life. And there, some of the subjects that I took were mathematics paper 3, and then I also did physical sciences, geography, and biology. Part of the reason why I took that combination of subjects, I think to study actuarial sciences, you needed a distinction in mathematics. In terms of choosing physical sciences, that was really around when I still thought that I may want to be a chemical engineer. But growing up as well, you taught that, the combination of mathematics and physical sciences is a good combination to pursue in looking to go into university, just because of all of the avenues it then opens up for you. And I'd say some of the subjects that really helped me going into university was definitely the mathematics, like I alluded to. But I think similarly, physical sciences was very important to me. One, because it just helped me think in a very abstract way. I think it helps shape how you approach problem solving, similar to mathematics. And then I think biology, the importance thereof was helping me be able to study well in very literature-filled type of modules, So with biology, there was a lot of content. And I think in the latter board exams on my way to qualifying, it moved away from mathematics to more of the wordy type of subjects where you had to really immerse yourself in the content. So it helped me have a good balance between being quantitative in nature, but also being able to transition into someone who can immerse themselves in literature. Similarly, when I went into my MBA, it moved away from the numbers and more into the theory. So after high school, I went to the University of Pretoria, which was closer back to home after having been in boarding school for a while, although I stayed on campus. So there I studied my BSc in Actuarial and Financial Mathematics, and I got a distinction in that course. And then subsequent to that, I did my BSc Honours in Actuarial Sciences. So I went all the way up to honours level. So part of the courses that I did there were mathematics, calculus, linear algebra, statistics, actuarial mathematics, economics, financial management, a good blend of your quantitative modules as well as some of your commerce modules, which I think speaks to what I alluded to earlier around the good balance of applying mathematical concepts in real life business contexts to solve those business problems. So it took me 3 years to graduate my undergraduates, and then the honors year was an additional year over and above that. And I think one of the things that really got me through my undergraduate years was my resilience, my hard work, knowing that I carried the weight of everyone who was supporting me and looking out for me. I knew that I couldn't let them down. And how I paid my fees, I went into university not having a plan around how to pay for fees. But upon getting into the institution, then I met a very special lady in my life, Mary Lehobo, who then helped me get onto the program. I'll always be thankful to this organization, an organization called the South African Actuaries Development Program, so SATP. And the rest is history, as they say. So that's how I then managed to pay for all of my tuition up to the honors level. And it covered all of my accommodation, meals, books, and even an allowance. And over and above that, it provided a mentorship program. So a very, very pivotal element of my success in university. And then over and above that, I then also did my MBA, so my Master's in Business Administration at Wits Business School. And really, there's some of the courses that I took with topics like strategy, organizational design, marketing, statistics. So quite a commerce-heavy type of course at the master's level. And really the reason that I went in to do that was to go and augment my technical skills with more of the strategic thinking. And I did this subsequent to qualifying as an actuary. And now I can call myself a fellow of the Actuarial Society of South Africa. So typically when I wake up, my day-to-day workday looks like going onto the client site. So a lot of the solutions that we develop, we co-create with our clients themselves. So you'd go into the client site, start collecting a lot of data to understand what are some of the challenges that are emerging in the organization. How has the organization historically performed? How has the operating environment changed over the last couple of years, and where we expect the market to be 5 or 6 years from now? What are some of the key emerging trends? So I do a lot of that type of analysis so that we can build a fact base as we start brainstorming together around what are some of the strategic initiatives that an organization would have to then put in place. So I have a lot of sessions with the client themselves, collecting data, analyzing the data, understanding the trends. And then we have a lot of internal sessions as well with the internal leadership team, the experts within the organization, to start brainstorming and problem solving how we add value to this organization. So my day is filled with a lot of problem solving sessions. And then after that, you go and put those onto PowerPoint slides, which are typically our reports. So that's where you then start unpacking some of the key findings and communicating it to the client in a top-down manner to ensure that they understand some of the solutions that you're proposing. And then I think a large chunk after that is to syndicate that with the client team. So ensuring that the client team is on board with the direction that we're proposing, so that we're co-creating the solution, because that's when you are more likely to get adoption and implementation, when the client feels like they were part and parcel of developing the solution. I think the one thing that I like most about my career is the ability to add immense impact and value. I think you can see, some of the initiatives that you put in place then manifesting themselves in real life. So seeing how you're able to shift the dial of an organization where you see where they were possibly struggling, and then how they're starting to turn around the organization based on some of the initiatives that you've recommended. So I think just being such an impact-filled type of career. I think another important element about my career is the amount of travel that I do. So I typically solve problems across the world, across different geographies. Just this year alone, I've been to 9 different countries. So being able to work with a diverse set of individuals across diverse geographies, traveling the world, is so important for me. I think one of the things that I don't necessarily like about my career is the fact that it's so hectic, So we typically have to deliver immense value in a very short space of time, which typically means that you'd have a lot of late nights, frequently, very, very, very fast paced. So it's something that I like, but also something that I sometimes find challenging, just how dynamic the environment is, you typically can't really have a downtime, right? And then in terms of whether my career is everything I thought it would be, definitely. I think it's been everything I've thought it would be and more, you know? I think the actual profession, before I even looked to management consulting, has opened up so many opportunities for me. Being a young black South African, qualifying at such a young age has been immense for me. And that's how I've been able to literally shape my career in a way that I've wanted it to be, and at a very rapid and exponential pace. I mean, you can hear that I've been a chief risk officer, and that was already at like age 27. And yeah, I mean, in terms of the actual starting pay, when I first started working, which I think was in 2016, my per annum salary was around 500,000, and I mean, it increased exponentially thereafter. Over the last couple of years, it's gone over a six-figure salary. So that's the other thing around the actual profession, is that the salary just goes, so it grows very quickly and exponentially. And in terms of what I did with my first pay, I gave some money to my grandparents. I think the people who were there for me, I bought a TV for home just to thank my parents for what they did for me. And then I obviously had to buy some furniture for my new apartment. And yeah, I think over time, it's always been a case of making sure that I look after home, buying my mom a car, making sure that whenever my family needs something, I'm there for them. So that's also been very rewarding for me. And then in terms of this career, I mean, literally my ambition is to become CEO one day. And I can honestly say that I think with the combination of qualifications that I have, so being an actuary, having the MBA, and also having been in an executive role and now working at McKinsey and Company with big CEOs, big companies, I definitely see myself being CEO one day. And that really is my dream. So I think as young people listening to this, it speaks to your inquisitiveness, how determined you are about making the right decisions. I'd say follow your dreams, follow your aspirations, work hard. And most importantly, I'd say be consistent in everything that you do. A very important quote of mine by Aristotle, it says, "You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit." And that really speaks to how my career is where it is today. I've constantly, on a daily basis, pursued excellence, and I've made it a habit of mine. So I urge you to do the same. And I thank you for listening to this